So today we are going to discuss about that content of that previous class. So that previous class we were discussed about that seed legislation system in India. So under seed legislation system in India, so various act and rules were passed. That the first one is Seed Act 1966. So based on the provisions available in the Seed Act 1966, so Indian seed industry was created, and various functionaries like seed certification agency, central seed committee, then notification committees and seed testing labs, both central seed testing laboratory and state seed testing laboratory, and officials like seed inspector, seed analyst. So everything is created. So that is mainly based on the provisions available in the Seed Act 1966. So that is the provisions. So with that we were created. After creation of the agency, each and every agency as well as the person appointed under Seed Act, everybody must be given with some functions. So all those functions they have to carry out strictly following certain rules and regulations. So in order to provide rules and regulation for the effective implementation of the Seed Act in our country formulated that seed rule. That seed rule also passed in the parliament in the year 1968. So today we are going to discuss about that aspect. So these are all the total seed legislation system in India. So in that today we are going to discuss about that seed rule and its amendment in detail. So that the seed rule that consists of 11 parts and 39 rules. Actually here that given in a section, but originally it's 11 parts, and under each and every parts that have a certain number of rules. Say example, the first part is a preliminary part, so that contain two rules like rule 1 and rule 2 are there in the part 1 of the seed rule. So that part 1 of that seed rule and that describe the and the definition, that give the definition for various terminologies used in the seed rules, and also that provide a short title and all. So this also is similar that of the section 2 of the Seed Act, so that the short titles and definition for various terminology used in the seed rule, that is there in the first part of the seed rule. That second part that is deal about that central seed committee. So under this rule number 3 and 4 are there. So that rule number 3 and 4 that mainly deal about the function of central seed committee, as well as that allowances paid for the person working as a member in the central seed committee or its subcommittee. So this particular thing and this part 2 that mainly give that is empower that central seed committee to initiate the following actions. For that they provided rules. So what are the actions and what are the functions they can do, that is given below. That is that the central seed committee is responsible for fixing of the seed testing fees for seed testing. So they will fix, and that will be recommended, that will be followed in all the seed testing laboratory, notified seed testing laboratory. And also that the central seed committee is advised the suitability of the seed testing laboratory, for testing the notified material. So that also main function of that central seed committee. Then central seed committee, the main function is they are responsible for recommendation of the procedures and standard for seed certification and testing. So they will in discussion with the scientists, they will finalize methodology for seed certification as well as seed testing. So that will be recommended for adoption by the state seed testing laboratory for testing the quality of the notified seeds come for the certification program. So these are the main functions of the central seed committee. So all those things are there in the part 2 of seed rule. Apart from that, the same part 11, that also provide details regarding traveling allowances and daily allowances payable for the members of this particular committee. So the central some allowances normally paid for the members. So that provisions also there in the part 2 of the seed rule. Then part 3 of the seed rule that mainly that deal about that central seed laboratory. So under this rule number 5 is there, that rule number 5 that give the functions of the central seed laboratory. So as per this part 3 of the seed rule, the main function of the central seed laboratory is coordination with the seed testing laboratory in order to achieve uniformity in test results. So that is the main function of the central seed testing laboratory. Then second one is collecting the data and quality of the seeds available in the market. So they have to collect the sample, that quality need to be verified. So collection of the data and quality of seeds available in the market. Then whatever that work assigned by the government of India, now and then they have to carry it out. So these are the three major functions resist with the central seed laboratory as per part 3 of the seed rule 1968. Then part 4 that mainly deal about that seed certification agencies, mainly that function of the certification agency. So under section 5 only that rule number 6 is there. That rule number 6 mainly deal about that functions of the certification agency. So the main functions of certification agency are outlining the procedures for submission of the applications, growing of the crops, harvesting of the crop, and processing and storage of seeds intended for certifications. So that is the first functions of the seed certification agency. Then second one is maintaining a list of recognized nucleus seed breeders. So the list of breeders involved in the nucleus seed production also they have to maintain. So that also another function. Then inspection of production field, inspection of the seed processing plants, storage grounds, and grant of certificate. So these are all the main functions of the seed certification. So everything is there in the part 4 of the seed rule. So under part 4 only that rule number 6 is there. So in that rule number 6 the functions of certification agency is given. So all those functions are I already told you. So that section number 5, so this is mainly deal about that marking and labeling as per the Seed Act 1966, and that labeling is compulsory but certification is voluntary. So this part 5 of the seed rule that is mainly tell about that labeling informations. So whoever interested to sell the produce in the market and in the name of seed, that should be labeled. So that label should contain the following informations like name and address of the person offering the sale of the seeds, name of the variety, on germination and purity level of the seeds, net weight of the seeds, date of testing, and statement if any, if it is treated. Suppose mostly if it is a seed means in order to prevent or in order to keep the material away from pest and diseases, so before packing and tagging that will be treated with the some fungicides or insecticide. If it is treated mean that caution also must be there in the label. So these are all the information must be there in the label. So these things are there in the part 5 of the seed rule 1968. So under part 5 only that rules 7 to 12 are there. So all those things that deal about that label informations. And part 6 that is mainly deal about the requirement for certifications. Suppose if a person interested to produce certified seed means what are the things they have to, what are the classes of seeds are available. So all those things are given in the part 6 of the seed rule. So under this rule number 13 and 14 are there. So this rule number 13 to 14 mainly deal about requirement to be compiled with a person carrying the business referred in the section number 7, and classes and sources of the certified seeds, everything is there. So as per this particular part, that 3 classes of certified seeds are specified in this section. So those seeds are foundation seeds. Foundation seed is a progeny of the breeder seeds. Then registered seeds, progeny of the foundation seeds, and certified seed. This may be a progeny of the registered seeds or a foundation seeds. Here they given a registered seed also because in the case of USA systems they are having registered seeds. Suppose the seed material we are going to export from US or similar kind of country mean at the time we may receive that registered seeds. So if it is a registered seeds, that registered seed is a progeny of the foundation seed. certified seeds. If the system have a foundation and certified, in this case that certified seeds may be produced from the foundation seeds. If the systems having foundation resistant certified seed, means the certified seeds may be produced from the registered seeds. So because of that only, under certified seeds they given certified seeds may be a progeny of the registered seeds or a foundation seeds. Then these are all the classes, and they are specified under this particular part. And also the each class shall meet the specific standards. The standards also they meet out. And then regarding that giving that the multiplication from say certified 1 to certified 2, that provisions also there, but any cost that should not exceed 3 generations, that is beyond foundation seed stage, that is a FS1, CS1, CS2, like that we can. So at any cost that should not exceed 3 generations beyond the foundation seed stage 1. And also the given genetic purity should not get altered. So whatever may be that CS1 or CS2, if it is 98, means both CS1 and CS2 must have 98% genetic purity and physical purity. There should not be any alteration with reference to that quality parameters of the seed material. So this is all available in the section part number 6 of the seed rule 1968. Then part number 7, so that is mainly deal about that certification of seeds. So certification of seeds, so under 7 rules, rule 15 to 17 are there. So this is mainly deal about application for the grant of certificate, fees and certificates, everything is there. Suppose if a person applying for a certification, or they wanted to have their field to register for certificate seed production purpose, what are the details they have to furnish, so that and all available. So the application form should consist of the name and details of the applicant, a name of the seed to be certified, class and source of the seeds, germination, purity and mark label, and also they have to make a payment of 25 rupees for certification purpose. So this are all the information they have to furnish in the application. So that and all given in this particular section number, part number 7 of the seed rule. In addition to that, once that metal is field production, everything is over, for getting that certification tag, so that certification tag also the following information they have to furnish: name and address of the certification agency. So these are all the information should be furnished in the certification tag. Whereas we were discussed about that previous one. In this particular section, say part number 5, it's a labeling. So these are the things regarding that labeling. Whereas this particular thing is related to that section 7 and the second part. This is information regarding the tag should contain the following informations: name and address of the certification agency, name of variety, lot number, name and address of the producers, date of issue of the certificates and its validity, and appropriate sign, and the designation of the designate of the certified seeds. And the color of the tag shall be white for foundation, purple color for registered seeds, and blue color for the certified seeds. So all these informations are available in this particular part 7 of the seed rule in the name of certification of seeds. Then some amendments also made in this particular part 7. So that amendment also made in the year 1981, 10th June. So after rule number 7 of the Seed Act, the following they inserted, namely 17A. So the 17A says that the certification agency shall, before granting the certificate, they have to ensure the seed conform the standards laid down in the manual known as Indian Minimum Seed Certification Standard, published by the Central Committee, as amended from time to time. So as per that standards given in the Indian Minimum Seed Certification Standard, before grant of the certificate to any seed material, that should fulfill that particular requirement. So that is there. So that this particular thing they amended, they modified. So the amendment in that amendment part, they included and the last line they included this one, which is commonly called as blue book. That seed rule book is normally known as a blue book. So the amendment says certification agencies shall ensure that the seed standards conform to the minimum seed certification standard laid down in the manual known as Indian Minimum Seed Certification Standard, published by the Central Seed Committee in the name of which is commonly called as a blue book. So the blue book, the word they introduced through this particular amendment. So this is regarding that amendment of that particular section of the rule. Then section number 8, that is deal about that appeal. If a person seed material is rejected from the seed certification program, or if anything found guilty, the applicant they can go for the appeal. So for appeal purpose they have to fill up a specific memorandum is there. They have to fill that memorandum. In addition to that, they have to make a payment of rupees 100. So that payment also enclosed in the form of the treasury receipt. So treasury receipt they have to enclose. So that appeal will be submitted. That appeal will be verified. So if it is a genuine, and that things will be taken in a positive way. If it is a appeal is not genuine, so at the time that whatever that seed material that particular person having, that will be destroyed. So this is regarding that appeal. So under appeal, rule number 18 and 19 are there. So the rule number 19, the procedures to be followed by the applicate authority, in that they given the details are there, in that they given all these things, and in deciding the appeal under the act of the appellate authority shall exercise all the power which a court has had. So they shall exercise all the power which a court has had. It's originally there, but through this amendment shall exercise all the power which court has had is omitted, so removed. Now the thing, this alone is it. In deciding the appeal under the act, the appellated authority shall follow the same procedures which a court follows, like that only is there. So that section rule 19 of the part 8, some modifications also they introduced. That amendment was passed on 13th June 1973. So that part 8 of the seed rule that deal about the appeal. If anyone get affected, or if anyone that seed is rejected from the certification program, or due to one of the quality issued with the stop sale order, at the time they can go for appeal. Within 30 days of the receipt of that notice, they have to go for appeal. For appeal purpose, specific memorandum is there. They have to fill up that memorandum. Along with the memorandum, they have to enclose rupees 100 worth treasury receipt that should be submitted. So that will be put in the court, in front of the court, that genuinity will be checked. So so that things they are that narrated in the part 8 of the that seed rule. Then part 9 of the seed rule, that's mainly deal about that tell about that seed analysis and seed inspector. The part 9 consists of rule number 20 to 23. So this is mainly deal about the qualifications and functions of the seed analysis and seed inspector. So regarding that seed analysis qualification for being to appointed as a seed analysis in the notified seed testing laboratory, whoever having that master degree in agriculture or agronomy or botany or horticulture from the recognized institute with at least 1 year experience in seed technology, master degree with 1 year experience in seed technology, or a bachelor degree in agriculture or botany from recognized university with a minimum of 3 years experience in seed technology. That is the eligibility criteria for being appointed as a seed analyst. Regarding that seed inspector, a graduate in agriculture with at least 1 year experience in seed technology is must to become a seed inspector. So this under there in the part 9 of the seed rule. Then the rule 21 of the part 9 says that duties of seed analysis. As per the main duties of the seed analysis, they have to receive the sample from the sample in the seed testing laboratory. So immediately after receipt of the sample, they have to ascertain that mark and seal or fastenings provided in the class B subsection 1 of section 15. So that is very important. This, whatever that the sample is received, that the sample should be packed as per the section number 15. Section number 15. So the fashioning, everything must be there. There should not be any damage. The parcel should be intact. So all those things they have to verify. After that whatever the sample is received, that should be subjected to analysis according to the provisions of the Seed Act and these particular rules. After that analysis, they have to deliver the copy of the report. That seed analysis shall deliver to the copy of the report of the results of the analysis to the person specified in subsection 1 of the section 16. So they have to receive the sample parcel intactness have to verify. After that analysis should be conducted. Then they have to communicate the report as per the subsection 1 of the section 16. In addition to that, seed analysis shall from time to time forward the report to the state government, giving the result of the analytical work done by him. So whatever that work done by him, that should be reported to the state government. So these are all the duties of the seed analysis. So here also they made some amendment. So that also took place in 13th June 1973. Particularly that amendment in the Rule 21 of this particular the seed rule part number 9. So here they substituted that rule number 21. The second and third they substituted. The second one, the seed analysis shall analyze a sample in accordance with the procedures laid down in the seed testing manual published by the Indian Council of Agriculture Research as amended from time to time. So this also they introduced. That is a third one also they introduced, that they given the time duration with reference to analysis of the sample. Here they given not later than 30 days from the date of the receipt of the sample, not later than 30 days. So within 30 days they have to conduct the test. That result should be communicated. So these two things are substituted in the rule number 21 of for 9 of that seed rule. Then seed rule 23 class H, that is mainly give information regarding duties of the seed inspector. So they have to perform that duties entrusted by him by the competent authority. So here also they introduced the amendment 13th June 1973. And that instead of that the competent authority, they specified, they given the word competent authority is replaced with the state government, because the state government is the competent authority for the seed inspector. So that word is introduced in this particular things. Then further some amendment also made in the rule number 23 inserted. So particularly if a person get affected, a farmer and they purchase a seed material, that the seed material is not performing well, that doesn't have any germination or physical contamination or genetic contamination, means that a particular farmer they can go for that appeal, and they have to give they can lodge a complaint. So under this case, immediately after receipt of that complaint, the seed inspector they have to establish the source of seed supply. So they have to identify from where that particular material is purchased. So for establishing that source of seed supply, the seed inspector they have to collect the informations from the complainee. So they have to collect the mark or labels that attached to that seed containers, and also that seed container also, if at all that farmers have that seed container, that also they have to collect. If at all they have a purchase bill, that also they have to collect. So by that way they can establish the source of the seed supply. So after establishment of these ones, so based on these information, they can inquire the person actually sell the seed to the farmers. So all the reports should be communicated to the competent authority. Here that competent authority is a state government. They have to communicate. And again, if the case is really genuine, if the seller they committed a mistake, means that seed inspector empowered to launch proceedings against the supplier for contravening the provisions of the act or these rules. So these things are there in the seed rule. This and all introduced through the amendment. So this is regarding that farmers. So the farmers they are going to purchase a material. If at all that material is defective with reference to quality, at the time they can they can lodge a complaint. So once that the complaint is received, they see in the first workup that the seed inspector is concerned, they have to establish the source of supply of the seeds. So the identification of the supplier of that seed material. So for this purpose, they have to collect the information from the farmers who file a complaint. The inspector need to collect the label or containers or the purchase bill or whatever it is available, that should be collected. So based on that, they have to establish that the source of the supply. After that, they can go for that inquiry. Through that inquiry, that whatever that report is prepared, that report should be communicated to the competent authority. If at all that particular inspector feel that the seller is committed mistake, they can they can prepare proceedings, and also they take actions as per this particular act or rule. Then 10. So this is a very peculiar one. So this is mainly deal about that sealing, fastening and dispatch of the sample for analysis purpose. So particularly that sample taken by the seed inspector, so that is normally known as official sample. So that is mainly taken to verify the quality of the seed sold in the market. Mostly that the seed inspector will take the sample. They came to know that material is somewhat spurious or inferior in quality, so somewhat problematic one. So while taking that kind of sample, after taking that sample, that should be properly packed. So and also that sample bag should be attached with some labeling, and manner of packing and labeling, everything is clearly given this particular section on the part number 10 of the seed rule. So sample of any seed shall be taken in a clean, dry, moisture and leakage proof containers and shall be carefully sealed. So this is very important, that should be taken in a clean, dry, moisture and leakage proof containers. So that is very important. Apart from that, the label also should be affixed. So the label on any sample of seeds sent for analysis shall bear the serial number, name of the center with official designations normally taken by the seed inspector. So they have to name of the center with official designations, name of the person from whom the sample is taken, and the date and place of taking that sample, kind and variety of the seed for analysis, and nature and quantity of the preservatives if any added. Immediately after taking the sample, that inspector feels that seed need to be added with some preservative, means they have to add preservatives. That information also should be furnished in the label. So again, that whatever that sample is prepared for sending quality verification to the seed testing laboratory, that should be sent through the registered post, or by in person they have to hand over the material to the seed testing laboratory. So at the time, for this purpose, they have to prepare that memorandum 5, and that should be affixed in the outer cover attached to the seed analyst. So this is the thing. So either in person they have to hand over the material, or through registered post that sample should be sent to the seed analysis for analysis purpose. Again, it should be ensured that sample reaches the destination without any kind of damage or alteration or leakage. That is very important as far as this particular thing is concerned. Again, furthermore, whenever any preservatives added in the sample, so that the seed inspector, they have to specify these information. Nature and quantity of the preservatives added shall be clearly indicated in the container label. Then immediately after receipt of the sample, seed analyst, they have to open. So the seed analyst alone is empowered to open, or in the absence of the seed analysis, any by an officers authorized in writing in that behalf by the seed analysis, who shall record the condition of the seal and pocket. Analysis of the sample shall be carried out by the state seed testing laboratory in accordance with the rules laid down by the central government. Okay, so first they have to receive the sample, so that the sample packet should be opened by the seed analysis or authorized person that should be tested in the state seed testing laboratory. Then after that they have to prepare that seed analysis need to prepare that form number 6. So the notice given under the class section 15 from the seed inspector intend to take the sample. Actually this particular form number 6 is given by the seed inspector. Then form number 7 they have to communicate the results, so they have to seed analysis need to communicate the results. So for this purpose that seed inspector need to pay 10 rupees per sample as a analysis seed analysis cost. And then once that the test is communicated to that seed inspector, the left out quantity of the seed material should be put it in a storage that should be stored in at low temperature storage. So because this is somewhat problematic sample, suppose the result is negative, immediately that seed seller will approach the court and the sample will be directed to the central seed testing laboratory. So under that case, that seed analysis in a position to give a sample, so they have to preserve the material. So during that storage, and that the storage condition should not affect the quality parameters of the seed material. So storage of the seed is very important to the prescribed period of time. So this also available in this particular part. And then 11th one, so this consists of rule number 38 and 39. So this is mainly deal about the records and forms of memorandums need to possessed by the person carrying the business of the seed sales. So the records like stock registers, seed stock registers, and record of the sales, sale of the seeds. So all those things they have to maintain. And the form of memorandum to be prepared, and the subsection 14 shall be the form number 8. So that various forms and memorandum, everything is given in the part 11, that is the last part of the seed rule. So that rules under part 11, the rules 38 and 39 is there. So this is mainly deal about that various records and forms of the memorandums related to that seed sales. So these are all the things with reference to that seed rule. So that seed rule that give a detailed rules and regulations. What are the rules and regulations need to be followed by the various agencies as well as officials involved in the seed production and distribution things. So with that we are completing that seed rules. So as on date our Indian seed industry is functioning mainly based on the power given in the Seed Act and rules laid on the seed rule. So I want to recollect some information regarding that seed rule. So the seed rule is passed in the year 1968, and this consists of 11 parts and 39 rules are there. That each and every part a certain number of rules are there. Say example, in the first part that contain 2 rules, and some other parts that may have one rule, some other parts that may have 3 rules, like that 39 rules are scattered in all the 11 sections. So in that seed rule, and the main thing is that the qualifications for seed analysis and seed inspectors, and then label informations, how to prepare the label, what all the things should be furnished in the label, and certification requirements, and certification of the seeds, and what all the information need to be furnished in the seed tag, and different class of seeds, and some amendments, and everything is there, and appeal also there, and how much amount they have to pay, and that information is also there. So this is regarding that qualification for the seed analysis and seed inspector and duties of the seed analysis, and separate section for that sealing, fashioning and dispatch of the seed sample. So this is very important. So water may be that container used for packing, that should be cool, dry and moisture and leakage proof containers used for packing of the seeds. That also need to be verified by the seed analysis. That should be recorded immediately after receipt of the sample pack from the seed inspector for analysis purpose. in that memorandum they have to record. So these are the material in which that seed is packed. There won't be any leakage, there won't be any damage with reference to that containers. Again, that sending of that material also through registered post or in person, they have to hand over that material. Again, that material also opened by the seed analysis. Seed analyst alone is able to open, or authorized person alone can open that material. Have to turn the analysis. Again, they have to communicate the results. After communication of the results, the sample should be stored under conditioned environment. So these are the thing. The last section, that is deal about the miscellaneous. That's for that mainly give information regarding that memorandum and records need to be maintained by the person carrying the business of the seeds. So these are all the things. From the next class onwards, we are going to discuss about that legislations that may be very specific to certain aspects. Thank you.